Now then, my friends, in today's vlog I am in Ambergate, Derbyshire at the Great British Car Journey, and I'm here for a reason, because over the last 4 years you will have seen me on my journey, a Great British Car Journey. Well, mine's actually been a electric car journey, and lots of you will have seen that me in my electric car banging on about how the government need to stop their ridiculous agenda of 2030. What is going on here? 2030. And why they need to put an end to it, because they are killing the Great British motor industry. I don't know what's going on here. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications of when I upload new videos. Now, without further ado, my friends, let's go. Hang on a minute.
McMaster.
It's come in here. It was you revving the backside off of a car then.
It could have been, but I saw you parked next to me and then thought, I'm going to make an entrance.
You certainly made an entrance. Where is your eye-pace? This is about electric cars. You are the believer, and you're in this.
It's not, doesn't it? Well, what a surprise.
This is a V8.
V8, absolutely, yeah.
V8, is that? It's a big engine.
It's quite a big engine, yeah.
Yeah.
1,000 newton meters of torque.
What's my Taycan?
Actually, I'm not really sure, but it's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've got a little bit of a bone to pick with you, right?
Yeah.
Because, as I've said, right, the government, and I've said this all along, the government, I'm getting on my soapbox, right? The government are killing the British motor industry by pushing electric cars down our throat and doing this 2035. Or 2030. Oh, sorry, they brought it forward now, haven't they? Yeah, well, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop the government. McMaster for Prime Minister, that's what I say.
Well, you'd probably do a better job than the current one. A lot of people would like to...
Somebody's getting their own back.
They are.
Right, we're going to have a little chat. We're going to wander over there, and I want to ask you a few questions, and I want your opinion on this too, because it is... I find... You know, I feel really strongly. Right, I like my electric car. I don't like the fact...
Is that like not love?
We'll have a chat over there. My issue has always been about choice, and I say
choice.
Yeah,
You chose an electric car.
yes, but
I chose a big V8 and an electric car.
2030, you won't have that choice.
Well,
And
not for a new one.
And I say, power to the people. Let's go over there.
Oh, no.
Right, let's be serious for just one moment.
You? Serious?
We're at the Great British Car Journey.
In Ambergate.
In Ambergate, and I have to say it is fantastic. And it's also Drive Dad's car.
Yep.
So you can choose to drive cars, etc.
Yep.
I'm going to be driving a couple of cars.
Oh, you're letting the secret out the bag.
Well, which ones are they going to be? That's the thing.
Yeah, well, let's wait, shall we?
We'll wait, and there's a gentleman who's very kindly sent me a gift for a drive day here, so I shall mention his name when we do that. But it's brilliant. Lots of cars in there from the past. We've got Capris, you've got Minis, you've got all sorts, really.
Minis, Morgans, Jags,
Lotus.
Lotus.
Is that Lotus who's just like slashed off their workforce?
Well, 500 of their workforce. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Is that because of the government?
I would imagine it's an economic decision at the end of the day, whether or not the government actually pushed that economic situation. I suppose that's up for debate. Go on, get on with it. You've got the article. I know you're going to read it.
I've got the article thanks to the Telegraph.
Oh.
I love the Telegraph.
Yeah, I think you do.
I love the Telegraph. Do you know why?
Because it's so anti-EV. The only thing they could add to that is that if they were conspiracy theorists.
Well,
seems to go along with anti-EV rhetoric.
I've said all along, right? All along, it's all about choice.
And I actually agree with you.
Right?
I personally, and you know, I read the comments on videos that we do together. Some of them are interesting. Some of them are very positive, actually. There's some of them that are pretty negative. There's some that are really negative. And I've been called all sorts of things on the bits at the bottom of your vids. Occasionally I'll even answer some of them, you know, with cryptic messages, but I do answer some of them. Am I an evangelist? No. Am I a believer? Not really. I mean, we just met, and what am I in today? I do have an EV, as you know, the 400 horsepower Jaguar I-Pace, but equally I've
not got fire yet then.
It's probably, well, I'm not that close. I can't see any smoke on the horizon. So today I'm in the big V8. I've got other vehicles as well.
Oh, a Capri. Sorry, my mind went off then.
Oh dear, you've got this lovely.
That's a
Capri.
proper Capri.
Indeed. So where was I? Yeah, I'm not a total believer evangelist. I do sit on the fence. Can I see the good points? Yeah. Do I see the bad points? Yeah. And incidentally, the bad points are getting less and less and less as the technology moves forward. So why not have a piece of all of it? Logic. But I do agree with you. You know, maybe the government haven't gone the right way about it.
They haven't.
And they've given, if you like, wiggle room, for the want of a better description, to some of the people that are so vehemently against EVs. And actually, some of it I don't get, genuinely don't get. I drive both, and I see the pluses and minuses.
But do you know what I think could stop this? Do you know what I think would stop the venom of the anti-EV people, right? And the anti-EV people who are out there watching will agree with me. If the government suddenly said, 2030 now, we're not doing it, but we're still having electric cars and we're having petrol cars and diesel cars, have whatever you want.
Without interrupting you, you know, even if, let's say, the government changes in 2029 or before, which may or may not happen, then EVs aren't going to go away. And we both know right now, and these aren't massage figures, that 25% of all new vehicles registered are EVs. So where are they going to go? You know, overnight, they're not going to disappear. You know, we just spoke to somebody in the car park, and we both asked, did they like their EV? And incidentally, it's about 10% of the cars parked up here are EVs. But when we asked, what did they say? This has got to come from your lips.
I asked one of them, I said, would you go back to petrol? And his answer was basically no.
I've got a question for you then on that point.
Oh, you're not going to ask me that question, are you?
I am indeed, yeah. In front of the whole of your followers, would you go back to petrol?
I'm going to do a politician's answer here, right? And I'm going to say I would have both.
Yeah, well, I have. So, you know.
I would have a 911, right?
Got one of those.
I would have a Renault 5
turbo.
The turbo. Yeah, the turbo. I'd have a 911. I'd have a Renault 5 electric.
Good car.
Excellent car. Even the anti-EV people out there, which I was surprised, said, actually, that's a nice car. They've got it right.
Yeah.
Perfect for around town. I'd also have a VW bus, the long wheelbase with all the
ID bus, yeah.
ID bus, yeah. Loved that car. Thought it was great. And I would have the new second generation Taycan. And that would be my Jay Leno garage. Anyway, let's get down to.
I suppose we've got to get to it eventually.
Let's get to it here.
So
I'm reading this from the Telegraph, and I want your opinions in the comment section down below, right? And what I was saying, by the way, is if the government pulled and stopped 2030, there would be no venomous anti-EV people, because people would just get on with it.
Well, it might go the other way though then. You know, like the genteel, sort of soft EV owners who tend not to be as venomous as the ICE brigade, it might inflict, mightn't it? You know, like, oh, you've taken this choice away from us, you know, and now you're going back to petrol, and EVs are great, and this petrol will never catch on. It could completely flick round.
EVs will catch on fire. Right, this is from the Telegraph, so thank you, Telegraph. Electric cars are killing Britain's automotive industry, and that is why we're here today, because it is a British car journey.
Yeah, and if we look at the sign outside, it says Great British Car Journey when Britain ruled the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't anymore, and, you know, arguably, you know, we could be sat in Beijing in 25 years' time, and it might say the Great Chinese Car Journey when China, or Beijing, ruled the world road.
We only have ourselves to blame. I'm going to say no, we don't. I'm going to say we have the government to blame.
Well,
For the catastrophe of that has befallen a once proud British sector.
okay, let's just drill into that. shall we?
Okay, yeah.
Partially right. Now, a number of successive governments perhaps not handled it well, but they're not the only ones to blame. You know, the populace is partially to blame, and actually the positive EV, negative EV brigade actually bear a proportion of that blame, because whilst successful YouTubers, vloggers, people who buy cars, that sort of ilk, have been, if you like, stirring, call it the, I'm trying to be diplomatic, but stirring the crap and the mud, then that actually maybe has allowed us to concentrate on one area, and not the fact that while that's going on, you know, quite simply, the Chinese are coming.
I have to say, by the way, with a smug grin on my face,
Yeah.
I have actually had, you may disagree, I've had about 4 people tell me in the last few days that I've stopped them buying an electric car. I've had a negative impact on the sales of electric cars.
Yeah,
Just ask Porsche UK.
Yeah, yeah, and I'd have to say I've probably made a positive impact on the sales of electric cars. For the last nearly 4 years, I've been working in dealerships, sort of analysing and looking at where the market is and how to sell to that market. So
You've test-driven electric cars, and
there's not many that I haven't driven. I mean, in fairness, as you know, I'm semi-retired now, and so I'm doing less and less of it. Still miss it, and the technology is phenomenal.
Did my name ever come up in conversation?
I don't think it was by name, no. By inference, yeah, possibly.
Let me read a bit more.
Go on then.
Electric vehicles would be better for air quality within major cities. They would be cheaper to run, and they would relaunch an industry that used to be one of the largest employers in the country. Perhaps most of all, they would be a major component of creating a net zero economy. What? I can't stand that phrase, net zero. Lots of bold promises were made for the transition from petrol to battery driven cars. There is just one catch, with the news that the luxury manufacturer Lotus is losing half of its workforce. Well done, government. It's becoming painfully clear. Shame on you, government. It's becoming painful. I've lost my
Painfully clear.
It's becoming painfully clear that it also is the final nail in the coffin for the once mighty British car industry, and is starting to look as if it's too late to save it now. Rewind a couple of decades and Lotus would have been little more than a footnote in any assessment of the British car industry. Its sports cars might have been stylish and appealed to a handful of playboys and petrol heads, but you were never likely to see one parked on a suburban driveway.
Just hold it there.
Go on.
Handful of playboys and petrol heads.
Yeah.
Oh. I've had 4 of them.
You have had Lotus.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what Lotus normally stands for?
Go on.
Loads of trouble, usually serious. L-O-T-U-S.
That's probably why they're losing off the workforce. It's a measure of how drastically the industry has shrunk, that it is a significant player. And yet, sadly, it may not be for much longer. This week, Lotus announced that as many as 550 jobs would be lost owing to current market conditions. Geely, its Chinese owner,
Just let's look at that again. Who?
Geely.
Geely. Ooh.
Its own Chinese owner.
It is. It's been Chinese owned for some time. It's Korean owned for a while, I believe, as well.
Right.
So Lotus has never been British for a long time. Have they an inherent problem? Yeah, they have. Is that they're a low volume manufacturer. As I mentioned, their nickname was Loads of Trouble, Usually Serious. Having had a number of them, the quality has been abysmal. The driving experience phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. They in latter days have used Toyota engines, so not even British engines. Prior to that, they used the Rover engine, and I've had both. They supercharged the Toyota engine, which worked really well in the Exige, which was one of the cars I had, but not British for a long time. So, very impactful article that you're reading there from the Bias Telegraph, but not totally straight on some of the things they're saying. And going back to Geely, yes, they are Chinese, very big company. They manufacture for Smart.
Yeah.
You know, who's
Smart
that,
cars.
Yeah, who's that owned by?
Oh
Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes?
Mercedes, yeah.
Yeah. So they also manufacture. They were. I'm not up to speed with it. A year ago, they were manufacturing the electric Mini.
Yeah.
For who owns Mini?
BMW.
BMW. They own outright Polestar.
Can I just stop you there?
No, I haven't finished yet.
Go on then.
Okay, and they also own outright, what's that Swedish company?
Volvo.
Oh, it's not Swedish anymore, is it? It's Chinese. So, you know, we're talking about the demise of the UK car industry, which actually has been on a decline for quite some time, probably arguably from the 80s, long before EVs. The Chinese are also influencing the whole of the European manufacturing. It's not really, you know, but that wouldn't have been a good article, would it?
Anyway, it says Geely, its Chinese owner, which has owned controlling stake in the company since 2017, has been pumping cash into the factory in Norfolk, where its Amira sports car and Vija electric hyper car are made. But in the face of tariffs and quotas in the crucial US market, Geely appears to be rapidly losing faith. Sure, the company will insist that it is simply scaling back in response to challenging few months, but the harsh truth is this: those 500 people will perfectly, understandably, go off to find other jobs, and those skills will be lost forever. The only reasonable conclusion is that Geely is giving up.
Okay, let's just hold it there a second then. Lotus are a very niche market manufacturer. They always have been. And they're such a niche market, really, that, you know, pretty much they've marketed to petrol heads. Okay, so they've gone down the EV route, and understandably, because actually it's going to be the law in 2030. And, you know, if they sat back and said, oh, we'll just keep making petrol, and in 2030 we'll just see what happens, that's not a good business decision. Going back further in Lotus's history, they made the Lotus Elise. I was privileged to own a couple of them, and at the same time they manufactured for Vauxhall, and they made a car called the VX220. I don't remember that.
It looked like a sports car, didn't it?
Well,
it looked like a bit like a Lotus, or
well, it did. That's because Lotus made it. It was based on the Elise chassis,
right,
with a Vauxhall engine. They put a turbo engine in it as well. Phenomenal car, but a Vauxhall engine. At the same time, the Elise had the Rover K-Series engine in it. But I actually went to the factory and had a look round. I'd owned a number of Lotuses by that time, and I got a gift to go and look around the factory. There was two parallel production lines. The one on the right had the VX220, and on the left had the Elise. Might have been the other way around, but I can't remember. At the end of the Vauxhall line, there was a guy standing there in overalls with a clipboard. And in essence, to cut the story short, if there was an issue, he sent it back down the production line and said, not acceptable, do it again. At the end of the Lotus production line, the Elise, there wasn't anybody. So they just all went through.
Really?
Yeah, I got one with a cracked door. That, you know,
Is that true?
It's absolutely true, yeah. Yep. 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 So, you know, they've been a unique market, and whilst great headlines, you know, again, dynamic, very, very good clickbait, and let's be honest, it worked. You clicked on it after I'd sent you the article. By the way.
Yeah, you sent me a few and I thought, oh, that's interesting, I like that. It is far from alone. Jaguar Land Rover has already said it will cut 500 jobs. By the way, Jaguar Land Rover, nothing to do with you making a car that's pink, that's all, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, come on. A pink car, what's all that about?
Do you know what though? Again, let's drill baby drill, because I like that phrase.
I like it, yeah, I like it, yeah.
Jaguar haven't manufactured a car for about 18 months because they're transitioning into, probably wrongly, into the super elite market, £100,000 plus electric vehicles, which ain't probably a good idea unless you Rolls-Royce or BMW or Mercedes-Benz, and even to an extent the latter two are struggling a bit. I've lost my plot now. Remind me.
It was Jaguar Land Rover.
Jaguar Land Rover. And indeed, I own a Jaguar. So they haven't made a car for 18 months. And I do look at most of the Facebook groups, including the anti ones, because, you know, it's important that I understand the groundswell of feeling. More important when I was doing more work within the industry, but, you know, I still like to look at it. Not manufactured a car for 18 months yet. The anti-Facebook groups have recently made a huge thing that Jaguar only sold, I think it was 25 cars during March of this year. Well, that's actually not bad, bear in mind that they've not manufactured one for 18 months. So big clickbait headlines, you know, that Jaguar's on its knees because it's only sold 25 cars in March. Well, they haven't made one for 1.5 years, so it's not that big clickbaity headline, is it?
Do you know what, Jaguar, if you're watching, or anybody from Jaguar, because you're like into, you know, it's politically correct and they're doing the pink cars and everything.
I think that's ended because the CEO has now changed.
Oh, right. Well, I'm just thinking, maybe you could get your Jaguar to identify as a BYD, that might work.
Who owns Jaguar, by the way? You know, we're talking about the British motor industry. Who owns Jaguar?
I'm not sure on Jaguar.
Don't you know?
No.
Really?
Go on, who is it? Is it Geely, is it again? Or
No, it's not Geely, no.
is it China?
No, it's not China.
Who is it?
China, as we speak, are hosting leaders from all around the world, and they had this big military parade yesterday, and they invited a guy called Modi, who's the leader of India. And now then, who owns Jaguar? Tata. Arguably should have stuck to making sauce, but...
Is it steel, is it?
Tata Steel is an Indian company, yeah.
Yeah. So it's an Indian brand?
Jaguar Land Rover is owned by India. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And we're talking about the demise of the British car industry. And of course it's cheaper to manufacture in India. You know, will standards go down? Who knows? Possibly not. But, you know, we're not this great British-owned automotive industry anymore. Aston Martin, I believe, is owned by the Saudi Arabians. Or it was.
Are there any British car manufacturers left?
Yes, Caterham, although I'm not even sure that's not owned by a foreign investment company. Morgan. We do manufacture Nissans in Sunderland, and they're a great car, actually. What else have we got in the UK? BMW, Mini.
Yeah.
Ford still manufacture in the UK. Vauxhall have pretty much on their knees, but that's Stellantis.
Well, I'm going into Vauxhall now, so we shall just go into Vauxhall.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Vauxhall has closed its van plant in Luton, thanks again British government, and only last month the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders reported that the total British vehicle production had fallen to levels last seen way back in 1953, excluding the COVID shutdown. That was Chinese as well, wasn't it? With
Wuhan, the Wuhan virus. Yeah.
With a fall in production of 70 PC over the first 6 months of this year. 7 decades of an expanding population and economic growth have been wiped out in a few short years. Extraordinarily, the government still has a target of producing 1.3 million vehicles by the year 2030. But that seems laughably unrealistic now. Instead, Britain is well on the way to leaving the club of auto manufacturing nations. It's hard not to work out all the things that have gone wrong for the industry. The post-Brexit supply chains were too complex. The government also never managed to work out a way of reducing the paperwork to allow manufacturers to operate just-in-time systems that could survive our departure from the European Union. The domestic market is significant, but it does not provide the scale required for mass production to compete with the German, Japanese, and now the Chinese rivals, and definitely not all three at the same time. We've now narrowed down to our manufacturing capabilities to niches such as sports cars, which is what you were just saying, large SUVs. But while that can be a strength when times are good, a specialism helps you to survive against far bigger rivals. It also leaves you very vulnerable to changes in fashion. We left the EU tariffs on American cars in place for far too long after we departed the bloc, ignoring the obvious risk that one day a US president might come along and,
Trump.
and decide to retaliate with tariffs of his own. Above all, however, we have made a complete mess of the switch from petrol to electric vehicles. Yes, we have. And that's the government.
I agree with you with that. Absolutely. It was never marketed properly, and you know that marketing is one of my skill sets. They just completely cocked it up, and it wasn't the current government either. It's just been something that's been ongoing for a while. And actually, you fell foul of that. You're a classic example that we launched EV technology, probably pitched it to the wrong people. We got early adopters like yourself. You were an early adopter. We never really went through how to manage operating an EV with the early adopters. And I know this from personal experience, having worked in dealerships or taught in dealerships, that it was bundled and rushed. We got to do, instead of there being a structured plan where the two would have coexisted together, and it's just not been done.
I think the British government have cocked it up well and truly.
I think they made a mess of it. Absolutely, no question.
America, as you know, I spend a lot of time in America.
Yeah.
They will never get America to go all electric. It'll never happen. I've had this conversation with you as well, and your answer to this was, well, it's America. Let them do what they want. The rest of the world will. But Americans will not go all electric. It won't happen.
Well, we're not going to go all electrically, and this is one of the fallacies that.
But we are 2030.
No. As of the 1st of January, 2nd of January 2030, what's stopping me from driving the car we just looked at?
Yeah, but
no. Just answer what.
Nothing's stopping you from driving the car.
So we're not going all electric, then, are we?
We are, because you don't have the choice to buy a new one.
Yeah, but you know what? We're at the Great British Cup Journey, and there's cars here that are like 100 years old. So, something the Capri that you love that drove past there, it's a 1970s. That's under 50 odd years.
We're allowing, the government is supposed to work for us, right?
It's a government that's democratically elected, and whether or not they're the right people to be elected is a different debate. But the majority of people, excluding proportional representation, voted in this government, and they're within their rights to take the country on a path that they want to, because they're democratically elected. I happen not to agree with a lot of what they do, but they're democratically elected, the same as Trump. It's democratic.
You do realise, though, 2030 will not happen.
Well, okay, let's drill, baby, drill into 2030. Let's
Say you've got Farage in 2030,
2029.
2029.
So, you know, on the day after he's elected, he says, okay, scrap electric cars.
Scrap the EV mandate, also scrap net zero,
Yeah.
scrap it all.
Okay, so what's going to happen then on that afternoon?
People will just carry on making petrol cars.
Okay, right.
Porsche still make the 911?
Yeah, they do, because it's iconic. If they could get away with making it electric, they would do. We looked at another article earlier on where the anti-EV brigade were rubbing their hands because Porsche apparently, you know, stopping making batteries. Well, they don't make batteries.
No, they
Well,
don't.
they stopped their plans to make batteries. You know, Porsche just, they may have looked at making batteries. That's not a win, and that's part of the problem. You know, EVs, chalk one up, that's a win. Anti-EVs, chalk one up, that's a win. You know, while that's going on, our minds are being clouded to what's happening around us. And, you know, Porsche aren't going to make batteries. It's not economic for them. You know, they don't even make wiper blades.
Or tyres.
Or tyres, yeah. Or the 12-volt batteries. You know, I happen to Bosch make them, I believe. That's for Porsche, that's standard. You know, Michelin make the tyres. So, you know, it's not a big thing that they're not going to make batteries. And do you know who made the batteries in your Taycan?
LG.
There's LG, yeah, Korean. And I know they've had problems with the batteries. The battery technology is going. Incidentally, they're called pouch batteries.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it because we used to teach it. And ironically, they're the same batteries and the same packs that are in my iPace. So at the time when the Taycan was launched and also the iPace, LG was the best option. There's getting to be better options now. A lot of it Chinese as it happens, but so going back to the day Farage is elected, if he is elected, maybe he will be, maybe he won't, certainly looks like he's going to be, then the motor manufacturers in the industry can't just turn off a tap. It's not how it works. I've got every plan in coming days of showing you a secret facility where cars are tested. There's a challenge, yeah. I'll try and make that happen in coming days. It's hard to get in because you need a permit. I've got a permit. Might have to smuggle you in the boot or something like that, but we'll see. But I'll take you and show you a secret manufacturer's testing facility. Do you know what they're testing right now?
No.
Well, I'll give you one guess. You don't have to phone home or ask a friend.
Hydrogen? No.
A bit of hydrogen, yeah. I mean, that one, we talked about that before. That one's not an easy one. But they're testing electric because that is where they're told in 2030 they've got to be. What's the point in trying to develop petrol when they're being told, and it isn't just the UK, it's Europe, by the way, and Europe are far bigger players than we are. And, you know, as far as Europe's concerned, we put the steering wheel on the wrong side, they put it on the right side. So all the testing and all the development and all the projects are going towards EVs. Rightly or wrongly, it doesn't matter, you know, whether or not it's correct or not. I'm not getting into that argument. But they're told that on 2030, 1st of January 2030, you will only be able to sell new vehicles that are EVs.
They shouldn't be allowed to tell the motor manufacturers and the motor salespeople what they can sell.
Well, possibly not. But, you know, as it goes back to democracy. You know, if you don't like it, vote them out.
I'll tell you what, if the government's watching, I'm going to stop your agenda. I'm going to do, I say, power to the people.
Yeah.
Bring power back to the people. And by the way, electric cars, right? You go on a journey, and I can tell you this, right? You end up having to stop to charge all the time, right? And people go, oh, you know, you have to stop to charge all the time. If you've got a petrol car, you can go from A to B, 500-600 miles in one go without stopping.
Yeah. I can't hold the bladder that long. In fact, I think I've got a present for you.
You got a present for me?
Yeah. Well, it's a present for your petrol lovers. And because I'm in the KN today.
For the petrol lovers?
Yeah. Because I'm in the KN, that will do. Actually, it won't do 500 miles. It depends how I drive it, to be fair. But it'll certainly do 300, ish, maybe 350 on a full tank of petrol.
Yeah.
I can't hold my bladder that long. You know, it's to do with being a pensioner. But I've got this for you when you're driving with some of your supporters.
Okay.
So there you go.
What's this? Emergency mini toilet.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you open it up.
Yeah. Right, what do you do here?
So when you're doing your 500 miles out stopping for a week.
Yeah. You put your, I'm presuming you put your man sausage in there.
Yep. And you fill it up.
And you fill
And
it
you
up.
don't have to stop because you've not got a fuel.
Right. I could just wee into that and carry on driving.
And there's stuff in it that's
Soaks up all the...
like a jelly. It goes to jelly.
Right. That's
A little gift for you.
That's great. Thanks for that. Now, I think we can all agree on one thing.
Oh, what's that? It's going to rain.
I know it's going to rain. I'm getting pins and needles. We can all agree on one thing. In the comment section, right, you're going to get called lots of names.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm used to it.
But there's one name that they're going to call you that we can agree upon.
Oh.
That you've been called many times, by the way.
Yes.
And that is, here we go. Are you ready? Bill Oddie.
Yeah. Goody, goody gumdrops.
Goodies, goody, goody, yum, yum. Everyone says he looks like Bill Oddie. Have you got your binoculars with you? So, I think we'll wind it up here. But the outcome of this is basically, my opinion is the government have a problem here. The government are the problem. And that's what I think.
The government have not helped things. Let's go and have a drive, shall we?
Okay, well in the next one, or we'll just wind this one up now.
We'll do it in the next one.
Right, we'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications when I upload new videos. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Right, we've just had a little drive, haven't we? And what we're going to do, you might not be in the next one, but, because I'm going to do something in between.
Well, you're a busy man.
We're going to do, and I think it's quite a good idea actually, because you're a professional driver, or you teach...
Well, I have done, but I'm more or less retiredly. I'm an old age pensioner. I'm getting on.
Getting on a bit. Look. What do you do now? Bird spotting?
Well, how ironic is that? Because I happen to know that just up above us in one of the parapets we're at quite a famous old mill that unfortunately is going to wreck and ruin. It's just being wasted. But literally within 150 feet of us, there's a peregrine falcon's nest.
Is there?
Yeah, how bizarre is that? And you know, sort of
you are Bill Oddie.
I am Bill Oddie, yeah, but you know, sort of what was the other one? Tim.
Is it Tim?
Yeah, you got me him. I'm gonna have to look up his name. Tim.
What, Tim?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was three goodies, wasn't
Oh,
there?
Tim Brooke Taylor.
Tim Brooke Taylor. That's
Yeah.
you. You look like Tim.
I'm Tim Brooke Taylor.
Anyway,
we're going to do some videos of you telling us, because you've just done it with me off camera,
Yeah.
just explaining driving procedures, etc., which I thought would be quite
we'll
good.
look at some, call it advanced driving techniques, you know, stuff that can help you every day in your driving, about how you position in the car, where you put the car on the road that gives you a better view.
Understeer,
We'll talk about
oversteer.
understeer, oversteer, because, you know, Jeremy, God bless him, has sort of mixed that in with the mud and the smoke and mirrors, but we'll look at the basic way of understanding it. We'll also talk a bit about technology,
All right.
because Jeremy's often talks about traction control, and this car's got traction control, so is yours, but it's not all about traction control. Actually, traction control is part of a layer cake of the technology, but we'll look at that in another video.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is, when I'm in the videos and I join you, we'll do a bit on every one and then build up this picture of...
So they're not long ones, they're just
No,
nice
we'll
short
just do
things to
some
go into. And
little snippets, 2 or 3 tips. We'll look at how the car handles and basically what we've done and we'll just add a bit into it.
Brilliant.
And remember, I promised you that I'd take you to a secret...
A secret test facility.
Okay, well, I'm working on that in my mind now, and
That will be in the next few episodes, actually.
yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Well, that's not a clickbait or anything.
Not clickbait. No, no. I'm going to take you
To a secret test
to a
facility.
secret test facility where they test motor cars.
So make sure you subscribe. Well, just one more, Rev. Go on. We can't get that in an EV.